Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with worldwide fitness and personal development coach Steve Hochman. He is the co-founder of the world's largest boot camp franchise and permanently changed the personal training and boot camp industry. He is a #1 fat shred coach without counting calories or starving. He went from growing up poor to co-founding Fit Body Boot Camp. He used to live in an old beat-up car during his senior year in high school. Everything changed when he turned the fitness industry upside down and did $100K a month in his first year. There's a lot more stories where that one came from. Enjoy this interview.
Hey, Steve, okay, I think we're good now. Hey, thanks for being patient. Great to meet you, man.
Yeah, no worries. Nice to meet you as well.
So where are you located?
I'm in Orange County, California.
Wonderful. Great part of the country. I love it over there.
You're in Kentucky, I take it?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah. So, well, hey, man, thank you for taking a minute out. And I want to start everything off here with COVID. The last 3 years did quite a thing on all of us. How did you survive it? How has it changed the way that you do things now?
Well, when COVID first started, so at the time I had 6 indoor fitness boot camps. So when COVID happened, just like everybody, no one knew what was going on. So we shut down everything and went online. We kind of saw it coming. So we started offering online services before. So it really didn't affect us too much. And then after about 90 days, we were just like, fuck this. We're opening. This is like people want to work out. This is the United States of America. Why can't we open up and work out? This is crazy. So we just opened up all of our gyms, and we really, it affected us a little bit. We got a lot of that PPP money too, which was actually pretty cool. So it all balanced out. But yeah, we just kept running, man. When anything happens in life, you just really got to pivot. You got to see what's coming and then prepare and then just take action. And that's what we did.
Well, and I know it was particularly difficult in California. I heard a lot of horror stories about the way the restrictions played out. So it sounds like you had your own agenda and you went for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been one to just really follow the rules, I guess, anyways. So for me, it was, I just kind of look at every situation and just think and just take action of what I think needs to be done. And it seemed to me like what needed to be done is that businesses needed to open. It was just, nothing made sense to me at the time, especially being in California where it was so restrictive. You could buy clothes at Target and everything's good, but if you're a mom and pop shop that sells clothes, oh, that's bad. Don't go in there. You're going to get sick. You could buy food at Target or at, Walmart or whatever, but if you're a small little hole-in-the-wall restaurant, no, that's bad. You're going to get sick. So to me, it just seemed like just really nonsensical and hypocritical and really not non-American too. Just freedom, make your own choices and lead your own life and your own destiny.
Yeah, and I think the thing to me that was strange was that you could go into a restaurant with a mask on, but you took it off the whole time you were there, and then you put it back on when you leave. It's like there was just things that were illogical about it. So, yeah, I couldn't quite wrap my head around any of it.
But what it showed me is how fast people could really fall into line and do things that make no sense because everybody's doing them or some authority is saying to do them. Like what you're saying is true. You stand in line at a restaurant, you have to wear your mask. You have 100 people in a restaurant with no mask on. You get up to go to the bathroom, you got to put your mask on. Nothing made any sense, but everyone was just complying and doing it, which is kind of crazy just to see how easy it is for everything to change in a second.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, let's get to the essence of what you do for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders. It's career day. One of the kids looks up and says, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you answer that child?
The way I answer it is I say, I'm Steve Hochman. That's my answer. I'm Steve Hochman. And it's not what I do, it's who I am. It's never about the what. It's about the who. So first you create the who. You create a person that knows what they want, that takes action, that does little things every day and builds their habits up so that they're confident, so that when they do have an idea, they go for it because they've proven to themselves through diet, through nutrition, and through their daily habits that they can follow through on the things that they say they're going to do. A lot of things that hold people back is that they just really don't trust themselves because they let themselves down with the little things. And then I would just tell them that I followed my passion. My passion was to really help people. I find the best value in the world, like my highest level of enlightenment and feeling good, like all the cells of my body are vibrating on a high frequency, is when I'm delivering massive value to people. And I got really good at getting people very fit and very lean through workout, mindset, and nutrition. So I opened up a whole bunch of indoor boot camps that later turned into me co-creating Fit Body Boot Camp, which is the biggest fitness boot camp franchise in the world in 7 countries, over 600 locations. I sold that. I continued to open up boot camps. And now I realize that just doing it locally isn't enough. So I started coaching people online so I could help people all over the world.
So when you were in the 3rd grade, what was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I mean, this is a real loaded question because when I was in the 3rd grade, I actually, as a kid, I had Tourette syndrome really bad. People would be shocked to know that because I don't have that anymore. Like, I don't have it where anyone would ever notice it. But, I had a lot of issues where I felt really different than everybody. So for me in the 3rd grade, I just wanted to get through the day without getting into trouble and without being made fun of. That was my goal in the 3rd grade.
So growing up, what were these seeds that were put into you to take control of your life and to get into fitness and to improve and help your life and others?
Yeah, I think the wanting to help others thing was just something that's just who I am. Everyone is different. For me, I always just felt the best when I was helping people. And in fact, I've really gone to the top and gone to the bottom so many times. I started off in high school, I was homeless. I was living in a car, but I wanted to get a scholarship for football, and I did. I got a full scholarship for football. But then when I got there, my mindset just kind of wasn't strong enough, and I kind of messed that up a little bit. So then I started over. I dropped out of college, and I ended up, getting into personal training. And I thought, gosh, let me open up a gym. So I opened up a gym, and I started doing things very different. I was doing auto debit for personal training instead of packages, and I ran it like a business. And then that attracted a lot of trainers to me because I taught them how to make 6 figures in 60 days or less. That got me pretty famous on the internet for a minute. And then that led to creating, Fit Body Boot Camp, this giant franchise. But for me, really what it is I need to help people, because when I make it about me, when I make life about me and I'm focused on me and what I want, I really just sort of maybe self-destruct and spiral, and it never works out. But the thing is about, if your mission is to give the most value to the most people that you possibly can, then by default, you have to be the best version of yourself in all areas. If I want to help someone with relationships, I have to make sure that I'm operating at the highest level in my relationships. The same with business, the same with fitness, the same with just being a leader. So because my mission is to give the most value, it actually is like the compass that I can see to make sure that I'm aligned with being the best version of myself so I can deliver the most value. So it's this circle that I actually really need to be successful.
So in your life, you're obviously an inspiration to others. You've had to glean a lot of inspiration from people. Who's been kind of a hero or a role model for you?
Yeah, my first real role model, well, I wouldn't say he was my hero. My dad was a pretty shady guy with a lot of issues. But one of the things that he did that was really good is that he always told me that I could do anything that I wanted to do. Like, he really believed in me. He probably had some ulterior motives. I think he wanted me to play pro football so he could live off of me. But for whatever the reason was, he made me believe I could do anything. And having that confidence really gave me that advantage that I really went for it. And I just believed I was unstoppable. I would say a role model that I had was an ex-Vietnam veteran named Travis. So when I was training people, when I first started my business, he was watching me. His son was doing karate on the upstairs level, and I was on the downstairs level running my little business. And you got to remember, like 2 years before that, I was homeless. So just the fact that I had a business, I was pretty happy. And he said he wanted to lose 50 pounds, and he wanted me to help him, but he had a shoulder issue. He just had surgery. So I said, let me talk to your surgeon. I want to meet with him so I could give you the best training. And he's like, oh, he's about an hour away. So, that's really far. I'm like, I don't care. I'll drive out and see him. And he said, well, I haven't even hired you. Why would you drive an hour out just to help me? I just met you. And I just told him, like, that's just how I do things. I do things the best. And I didn't know this, but he was a real big business multimillionaire guy that just saw that I was very hungry and very driven, and he took me under his wing. He gave me great books like Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and he just taught me these lessons. And one of the things he instilled in me, he said, never use the word try or can't for the rest of your life. Just delete those words. There's no such thing as trying. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. You're either going to give your best effort or you're not. You're not going to try. It implies failure. And you could say won't, but don't say can't. And, it was stuff like that he taught me that it just really took me to the next level. And I would say that's probably the most inspirational person I've had in my life.
So if you can meet anybody alive right now on the planet and spend some time with them, who would it be?
Oh, man, that's a really interesting question. Gosh, I think I would probably I would want to meet Elon Musk for a couple reasons. I really want to know how he's able to do so many different things that are really huge at the same time, from making tunnels underground to going into space to making the most innovative electric cars and manage all of that at the same time. That to me is really interesting. But the other question I would really ask him is, how is a guy like, I would honestly ask him this. This might not be a normal question, but I'd be like, are you completely happy with your body? Like honestly, because I know there was a time where he saw himself on a boat, like on a yacht, and he was like, oh man, I got to lose some weight. And it's interesting to me that some people that are so smart and so disciplined and get so much done in certain areas, but when it comes to themselves and the body in which they live in, the only body that they have, the thing that they want to actually see in the mirror and be proud of, they really struggle with. So I would really actually talk to them about that.
That's interesting. Well, the thing that's undeniable about someone like Elon Musk is their motivation. And I'm curious, what is that for you? What gets you out of bed? What gets you moving? What motivates you to accomplish what you want to get done in your life? Regret.
The only thing that really scares me is having regret. I'm really not afraid to fail. If there was a crystal ball and it said that I was going to give everything I had to achieve my dreams and achieve none of them, or I could live an average, comfortable life, which one would I pick? And the average, comfortable life was guaranteed. But the other way was guaranteed I would fail. I would pick the failure route because I don't ever want to look back and wonder what would have happened if I gave it all I had. And so that's just really what motivates me. And then the other thing that motivates me is my purpose. I believe that I was put on this earth to help people. I think that I've just had the people come into my life at the right place at the right time for a reason. And I could just feel it in my heart and in all the cells of my body that that's what I'm supposed to do. And so those are the two things that motivate me is my purpose, which is to give the most value to the most people, and the fear of regret.
So of all the people that you motivated and worked with over the years, what's one of your favorite client success stories?
Oh, yeah. So just recently, about 3 months ago, I had a girl named Marissa come in to one of my gyms. And she said that, and she's young too, she's in her mid 30s, and she is a cancer survivor. and her doctor told her that she will never have the body that she had before, that she will never do a push-up again. She'll never be able to work out like an athlete, and really just put all these like negative restrictions on her. And I just really told her, like, look, we just met, but if you take a chance, get on my nutrition program. I know you just joined my gym, so that's perfect. I'll transform you in 28 days. And it did. That did happen. Like, night and day difference. In 28 days, she was actually better than she was before she had cancer. Now that it's been about 90 days, she's doing like high rocks competitions, Spartan races, and all of the things that the doctor said she would never do, she's doing it at such a high level now. So for me, that was one of my best success stories, because, you know, she came to me just so beaten down, and we just told everyone that, you don't know shit. Like, watch what's about to happen. And so that was a really good one for me.
That's a great story. So, Steve, if you were to have a dream tonight, you ran into the 20-year-old version of yourself, and you could give that younger version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life so far, what would you tell that young version of you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would tell the 20-year-old version of me two things, just two things. The first thing is to be grateful, and that happiness isn't a destination that you're going to get to one day. Happiness is a choice that you make 100 times in a day to be grateful in the moment for things that you could be grateful for. And the thing is that when you want things really bad and you focus on want, you're actually in a very ungrateful state, and you're actually really focusing on lack. And if the universe was like a parent that watches their kids, you know, you're not going to give more toys to a kid that doesn't appreciate and isn't grateful for the toys they already have. You're going to reward your kid that's grateful. So I would explain that like, and then the crazy thing is, the more grateful you are in the moment, the faster you get what you want anyways. But when you want it, you realize you didn't even need it, but it's like a nice bonus. It's like you were already happy. It's not going to make you happy, but it is nice, and it's a cool bonus. I would tell myself that, to have that philosophy in life. And the other thing is, really, like, I would just say, Steve, you know, for you, your mission in life is to help people in all ways and to give the most value. But you can never give the most value unless you arrive at as the best version of yourself. So I would tell myself to create the man that I admire and give that man to the world, and constantly measure my success by if I'm the version that could give the most value.
So of all the things that you've done in your life, you've laid out a great timeline of lots of things that you had to overcome, lots of achievements. What are you the proudest of?
I mean, honestly, it's just that. It's. I know I kind of keep saying the same thing over and over again. I mean, like, well, really, one of the things that I'm the most proud of, and this is just, it kind of doesn't even go with what I just said, but it's the woman I married, actually. So I've been in a relationship with my wife for 8 years. For me, you know, it's such validation of the person I am, that someone at her level, as beautiful as she is, as smart as she is, as driven and as successful as she is, that she fell in love with me, and that we're able to have a relationship that is an example to my kids. So I was in a real unhappy marriage for 16 years. You know, it wasn't anyone's fault necessarily. Like, I didn't really know what I could give and what I required. I don't think my ex-wife knew that either, and it was just a bad matchup, and I felt pretty unloved and unattractive for about 16 years. And the thing is, I thought I had to stay for the kids. Everyone says stay for the kids. But to be honest, I realized that was the dumbest thing I could ever do, because all I was doing is giving the kids an example of what not to do. I was showing them, I was teaching them how to not expect much out of life, how to not expect to be incredibly happy with the person you're with. And by leaving that relationship and creating the most amazing, healthy relationship, I've now set the bar so high for my kids that they have great relationships because they see what's possible.
So everyone out there has a perception of you. There's all these pockets of people, family, friends, clients, colleagues. but you're the one, Steve, that's in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oh man, I mean, I'm somebody. I'm just Steve Hochman. I mean, that like it's funny. Like when people ask like that kind of question, I'm Steve Hochman. That's who I am. I'm someone that just gives tremendous value to people. And like I think people really underestimate the power of making your mission to give value, because I can't help you with your finances unless my finances are doing amazing. I can't help you get fit unless I'm the example of being fit. I can't help you with nutrition if I'm cheating on my nutrition and I'm not really lean. I can't help you be in a good relationship unless I'm in the best relationship. I can't help you to be a better parent unless I'm being the best parent. That's who I am. I'm someone who gives value, and by making that my mission, I really do come as the best version of myself, and it really does keep me on track. That's just who I am. Someone that gives. You know, it's funny. Like Joe. Like, think about it like this. You could have someone that's like a billionaire, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, let's say someone made like money on some like crypto, and he just like hit the jackpot and made $1 billion. But imagine if everyone had a digital number above their head of how many people they have helped. And so imagine this billionaire has like 10 people above their head because he made some money on crypto. And then imagine you have me, who maybe I have a number of 1 million over my head of how many people I've helped. Who's more valuable? You see these two people walking down the street, you know, that's how I measure my value. That's how I measure anyone's value. How many people have you positively affected? That's what's impressive to me.
I love that answer, Steve. Steve, thank you so much. Before we get out of the proverbial digital door here, let everybody know where they can find out more about you, hire you, anything pertaining to your world.
Yeah, for any type of business, fitness, workout, nutrition, and mindset coaching, just message me on my Instagram. It's _Steve Hochman, SteveHochman.
Steve, this has been wonderful, man. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your story. Best of luck with everything.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Joe. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. Our esteemed theme music was composed and produced by the great E.E. Pointer of Kansas City's River Cow Orchestra. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.